Hi, I'm Ricky Widmer.
And I'm Johnny Karlic.
And today, I'm going to cry here on the podcast. We're talking what's wrong with the DCEU.
I got him some tissues. Don't worry. We're going to take care of him.
He's a good friend. He's got my back. Let's get into it.
It's already starting.
But Johnny, I kind of want to move into everything with the DCU now. Everything as a whole. Everything going together. And basically, I'm just going to throw it out there to you. What's wrong with the DCEU? What is wrong with it?
You know what? To do that, we're gonna have to talk a lot about all the movies, starting with Man of Steel, going to the Batman v Superman, and even Suicide Squad. But real quick, just want to say potential spoilers at this point. So if you want to wait
for anything in the DCEU,
Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Suicide Squad. If you don't want us to ruin any of those for you, pause this, go check them out. We'll be waiting here for you.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, man, those Man of Steel spoilers, man. You can't avoid those at this point.
No, I mean, you know what? That's on you guys if you didn't see Man of Steel by now.
That's the joke, Johnny.
I know. That's the joke, Ted.
But really, what's wrong with the DCEU?
You know what? Man of Steel.
I was expecting, everything.
I try to be the optimist about this stuff. You know that by now. Man of Steel wasn't too bad, honestly. There's some things from my limited knowledge of the DC universe, I did like and didn't like. The brooding Superman was off-putting for me for a while. I got used to it, but that was not what I recall of what Superman was. And I get throwing some of that in there, showing him more humanistic.
Thank
you. Yes, that word.
And you want to know why why people didn't like him? The name's Christopher Nolan. Remember that one? Yeah.
Yeah.
No, not Christopher Nolan. Zack Snyder. That's who. Christopher Nolan, you're great. Zack Snyder, piece of shit. But go on.
Wow.
He ruined Batman v Superman. Like, let's be honest. Like, he ruined it. But go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah,
I digress. You're going to get my opinions in a second.
Yeah, you're going to get Ricky's. He's going to spew out quite a bit. Like I said, that's the only thing I had problem with Superman, with Man of Steel. Then
it wasn't the traditional sense of Superman.
And I didn't need the traditional Boy Scout and everything.
Like the 1950s version.
Yeah, we didn't need that. But
like the Action Comics, and he's got the car over his head.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't need that per se. But a little bit more lightheartedness would have been a little bit better, and I think that's been the theme of this week is lightheartedness.
Where he didn't seem like the guy where it's like, dude, it's a joke. You can calm down.
Yeah,
like,
the
facial expressions was always like the guy who you told a joke to, and it just went right over his head.
Yeah, he was a sphinx the whole time.
Yeah,
it was more. He was brooding to the point of almost being Batman.
Almost,
and I was a little off-putting with that.
And I get that it's supposed to be a darker, like you said, more
serious,
humanistic kind of Superman, but there's something that I'm going to throw. I'm going to throw out something to you. And I was thinking about this because our own Mark Weber here at Most Valuable Podcast said this to me last week before we recorded the Onside Kick.
Okay.
This entire week I've thought about it. And this is one of the main reasons why I kind of wanted to have this discussion. Bring it up to you, bring it up to the fans, get this discussion kind of going. And what Mark threw out, and I totally agree with, is you know what DC should do? They should just say, fuck it. We know that we're not going to be able to compete with Marvel. They have built up their cinematic universe so well that we are not going to be able to compete with them. But you know it's the one place we can compete with them? If we just turned our universe into saying, you know what, we're going to make a 180 and you can be the kid-friendly Disney, we're going to go rated R superhero films.
And I can
just go straight rated R and just go right in, kind of like what we're seeing with Deadpool and Logan.
I get that with some aspects of it, and it would work very well. Batman being one of them. I'm trying to think who else is
Aquaman. You can get a good one.
You can do a good one with Aquaman. But what about someone like the Flash? The Flash is pretty friendly guy, pretty positive in so many aspects. How are you going to make him a rated R movie? He's not terribly violent.
Put him up against Gorilla Grodd.
That's true. You could, and that would make it a whole lot more. I guess you can play a Deadpool spin on him and more of the funny, sweary kind. But is that really Barry Allen or what's the other one? Wally West?
No, I'm not. And that's the thing.
And that's the
where
hard thing to go with rated R then.
It's not where it's going to be tricky to where, of course, you're not going to change any of the characters.
Yeah.
But from the side of it, I just say, you know what? Go complete 180, go rated R, and then that allows you to do things that are kind of different. Where, for example, with Deadpool and even Logan, like Logan, we're actually seeing right through the chest. We're seeing right through the skull.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where you're allowed to get more violent. Now, with a hero like Batman, it works perfectly.
Oh,
because
yeah.
the one thing for me is with Batman, it doesn't have to necessarily focus on him. Mm-hmm. It focuses more on the villains. And to me, what DC is it's, to me, yes, the characters are there and you know the superheroes.
Yeah.
But what really makes the superheroes their own are the villains.
They're villains.
Like, could you imagine a rated R film with the Joker? Could you imagine a rated R film with the Penguin if the Penguin's just allowed to execute people at like point blank
Killer
range?
Croc, Man-Bat.
Killer Croc, Man-Bat, Bane just ripping a guy apart.
Yeah, and I mean, that works great. Like you said earlier, Gorilla Grodd. It's physically a gorilla with a super hyper intelligence.
With rated R, we could even do kind of like an Injustice, the video game Injustice. I know Injustice 2 is coming out later this year, and I am pumped for it. But we could kind of do that where it's like, that's the point where I think that story starts out where the Joker kills Lois Lane, and that just flips the switch for Superman. And Superman just loses it and just everybody. Could you imagine that as a rated R film?
That would be something.
Like, think about that. Think about it. You have that storyline. You set up a Joker already. You set up the Joker in the universe. You would have to do that in a Batman film. You set up the Justice League with your Justice League film. You do that first, then you set up a Joker in the Batman film. Probably a little bit better than Jared Leto, but hey, you know what? It's your universe. It's not mine. And then you can get to the point where Superman comes back from being dead.
Yeah.
All he wants is to just see Lois Lane, and the Joker kills her. Then what happens? He snaps.
Yep.
Just completely snaps. Or we could get a complete version of the death of Superman story arc, where there have been like how that story arc worked was Superman didn't die and just come back. We basically had a Superman that was kind of part cyborg.
Yeah, we had multiple Supermen.
And we had basically he was like a different robotic Superman where basically he would assess threats and he just became an evil Superman. We had several different Supermans
before
while
Superman
the real
came
one
back.
was dead. And then he comes back and just kind of bam kills Doomsday. We couldn't think about that. That's why there was that jump cut there.
Yeah.
But there are so many things that you could do if you just commit to the rated R. Because the thing to me is it's not something of what's wrong with the DCEU. It's basically, to me, the conversation is more, okay, Marvel has created a juggernaut. How do you at least try to get out of its shadow?
Yeah.
Because really that's what it is getting out of Marvel's shadow.
How do you somewhat compete with it, and at least just to start off? Because it's not even just that. They probably could have started off strong had they done better on these past two movies. Batman v Superman, I know you hate it. There's some things I do and don't like about it, and there's some things that confused me. Suicide Squad, from two different aspects. From a movie aspect, it was okay. From a comic book aspect, I have no idea. But from the movie one,
it made me want to cry.
I bet it did. I completely agree with you when it was trying to be Guardians of the Galaxy because it was trying to cram a soundtrack down your throat.
Yeah, it was.
And it's just the soundtrack did not fit. Have they thought of it better? They probably could have figured out a pretty great soundtrack to go along with it. But they just picked song after song. It's like, oh, I heard this one on some radio station on my car ride to work. I think we should throw this in there. And that's just one thing. I mean, could have picked a better soundtrack, could have probably done a little bit better on the storyline. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
spread it out a little bit or something.
The story, another thing that I didn't like, and this was minor about Suicide Squad, is they kill off one of the members.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where it's like, oh, well, I had no attachment to him, so that did nothing.
Exactly. You didn't really know much about him.
Like, he's one of the ones where it's like, who was that? Who was he? Whatever. Okay, he died.
I mean,
shouldn't have tried to get away. That's his fault.
Yeah,
like, that's what I thought while watching.
You're talking about the first one that tried to get away? Yeah.
Where he tried to get away and they killed him. And
I think
it's
he was
don't do that.
That one was just an example, just to show what was happening. Now,
he killed off one of the members.
Yeah, and you know
it's one of those things
no one really cared about.
If you're going to kill off a member, at least let me get attached to him first.
I think that that one didn't really matter as much as killing off a member.
Guardians of the Galaxy did the same exact thing about a non-member of the Guardians and made me cry within the first 2 seconds of that movie. The beginning with Star-Lord?
Oh, Star-Lord, yeah.
Yeah.
They threw
hit me in the gut from the word
They
go.
tied way more emotion to it, but I don't think that's what they were going with behind that part.
Yeah, but
that was
just
an
saying,
example.
If
but
you're gonna kill somebody, at least let me get attached to him, so it means something. So it's not just like, okay.
Well, that's the thing. It wasn't supposed to mean a lot to anyone.
Like I said, it was minor. It was a minor.
But
the thing.
The one they could have done better on building emotional ties to was the guy at the end, Diablo.
Yeah.
They could have tied a little bit more emotion with him to the audience.
They tried.
I didn't get a whole lot of emotional connection with him.
They tried so hard with showing his backstory with his family and how he got so angry that he killed them.
Yeah.
And they tried. They tried to get the emotional thing there, but to me,
they probably went the wrong route about it then.
To me, the number one character that I was mostly emotionally connected to was Deadshot.
Yeah, no, I completely agree.
The story with him and his daughter, and then Batman was in there, and it was one of those things where that was the one where I was like, oh, okay, I'm connected to Deadshot.
He's the one I had the most emotional ties to.
Plus, it kind of helps when your actor who's playing that character is really fucking good.
Yeah.
That kind of helps when you're trying to sell an emotional value to a character. But, yeah, to me, the DCEU, I mean, I threw out the thing with the R-rated. Well, I think it happens. No, I think it would just be. I agree with Mark Webber. I think it would be a cool thing for them to go to, just to be different from Marvel.
No, I completely agree. It would be a cool thing.
We're going to be completely different, but the thing moving forward, and Wonder Woman is going to be our next. She's going to be our next kind of barometer of. Jeff Johns came on to oversee the DCEU to kind of fix everything.
Yeah.
To fix everything that is going on. And it's one of those things where that's going to be the first kind of movie where I thought Suicide Squad would be it, where it's like, okay, I guess that's what we're gonna see.
Are we going third time's the charm? And that's going to be
the third. Like, I thought that, okay, Suicide Squad is going to be it, but Jeff Johns came in so late to where it's like, okay, I can't really take anything into effect here. Wonder Woman is going to be my first barometer. From what I've seen from Wonder Woman, looks great.
Yeah.
Looks phenomenal. But I had the same thought about Batman v Superman.
I completely agree. It looked way better than it did when it came out.
Like Batman, let's be honest. Okay. Batman v Superman, I didn't think would be amazing, but I thought it'd be a great movie. I thought it was going to be what the Avengers was like. Remember the first time you saw the first Avengers? I remember. Yeah.
The excitement of seeing those heroes together.
All at the same time on one screen.
Yes.
And I went to that movie, and I wish I could have felt the same excitement because I watched Kevin Smith's review of Batman v Superman after the movie, and he told the part where when the parademons are coming down, where he said he saw it with Jay from Jay and Silent Bob, his good friend. And he goes, he's like, we both looked at each other and went, parademons, man. They're parademons. And they were so excited. But to me, I was like, no, like, it doesn't make fucking sense for there to be parademons. Like, I know you're trying to set up Darkseid, but I felt like there was just too much thrown into everything, and it was all muddled together. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't get behind a movie where the reason why they overcome the villain is, wait, your mom's name is Martha? My mom's name is Martha.
Why'd you say that name?
Holy shit, we've got a mom with the same name? That was really what pulled them together.
Why did you say that name?
And that was really what pulled them together. And it was one of those
that was an
things,
interesting one.
It's going to be interesting to see what we see, because the movies that we have lined up are this year for 2017. We've got Wonder Woman, which is going to be, I want to say, that's going to be in May.
Something like that.
We see Wonder Woman. And then later this year, we're going to see Justice League. We're going to see Aquaman in 2018. We're going to see Shazam with The Rock. That's going to be in 2019. We have Cyborg in 2020, Green Lantern in 2020. However, other products that we have, The Batman, which is a solo Batman movie.
Mm-hmm.
We have Dark Universe, which is based on the DC Comics superhero team Justice League Dark.
Interesting.
We've got The Flash. We've got Gotham City Sirens. That's going to be an interesting one. That's think of a movie, a Harley Quinn focused movie with Catwoman and Poison Ivy.
Yeah, no, that would be
an
interesting.
Just about those three. I can't wait for that.
No, that sounds exciting.
Cannot wait for that movie. Then we also have the Black Adam one. That's who Dwayne The Rock Johnson is playing as Black Adam. But Black Adam's also going to be in the Shazam movie, let's be honest. Then we have a Deadshot.
I would hope so.
We have a Deadshot solo film that is in development. So getting Will Smith some more solo airtime.
Yeah.
A Justice League sequel. They've talked about Lobo. They have a Man of Steel sequel. The Suicide Squad sequel that Mel Gibson might direct.
Yep, that'll be interesting.
We'll see how that is. I mean, I know that I hear that Hacksaw Ridge, is that the one that he recently directed? I heard it was really good, but really it's one of those things where it just makes me a little nervous. And then we have the Nightwing movie that we talked about earlier. That's Chris McKay is attached as a director, and then Bill Debquay. I know I pronounced that name wrong. He is the screenwriter for that one. But there's a lot of films. But really, to me, it all comes down to with the DCEU. What's wrong with it? They haven't focused on the characters.
No.
And that's what I'm bringing it back to. The question that we started with, we kind of went all around, and we're bringing it back to the last question to end this up. The main reason why the DCEU is failing is because they're not staying true to the characters.
No, they're not staying true. They're taking a little bit too many liberties with it.
And it's okay to take some liberties.
No, that's fine.
With the character.
In a movie, you have to.
Like, let's be honest, with Thor, like when Thor first came out, did you really think that Chris Hemsworth was like, boom, the spitting image of Thor?
Physically, yeah. He looked like it.
It's one of those things where, like, I think back to my dad. My dad, when the first Thor came out, he'd be like, well, no, I was expecting a guy that looked like Fabio with the hair, the long golden hair.
Touche.
Kind of more of that Viking god. But Chris Hemsworth, with his charisma and his acting,
he played into it.
Has built the character. Chris Evans has made Captain America.
He made himself Captain America.
It's one of those things where not Tony Stark. Robert Downey Jr.
is Tony Stark.
Chris Evans, Helmsworth, they've kind of made it to where you see them and you don't think their names. You think, oh, that's Thor. That's Captain America. That's Tony Stark. I didn't say that yet about the Incredible Hulk.
Mark Ruffalo?
I didn't say that about Ruffalo yet because we haven't seen him enough.
Yeah, he's only been.
We saw him in.
He's in two movies so far?
We saw him in Avengers and then Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
And then we haven't seen him.
Yeah, so we haven't had a whole lot to see him in with that. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, he's starting to get there, I would say. But unlike the other three who have made it, and I'd say, I'll be honest, Robert Downey Jr. right off the bat just, I am Tony Stark.
Yeah, well, no, that's what he is. He's Tony Stark now, and it's going to be weird when this guy, who we have right here, gets a different a different actor associated to it.
Let's not talk about that yet.
But is there anything else besides the character? To me, the character development and staying true to the characters. What's wrong with the DCEU?
Mainly the characters and the character development, and at the same time, maybe not rushing through movies and putting too much in it.
It kind of seems like I read off a lot of projects that they're thinking about.
Yeah, and keep them separate movies.
So don't tie them together at all.
Tie them together, but I'm saying don't like Batman v Superman. We had Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Parademons, Darkseid setup. We had Doomsday. We had what's the villain's name?
We had Lex Luthor. We
had to cram all that.
Well, basically the Joker as Lex Luthor, because that's what I got from it.
Yeah. Well, anyways, we had all them.
He would have played a great Joker.
He would have. They crammed them all into one movie as the Batman startup movie.
Kind of.
Yeah. So that was kind of a bit much in one movie.
Yeah. To me, like I'm going off of it's Wonder Woman is my first barometer for the Jeff Johns era.
Yeah, let's hope that one hits a decent amount higher.
Hashtag in Jeff we trust, or so I hope. But that's going to wrap up the Rick and Johnny podcast this week. I want to thank you guys for checking it out. Another Swifty or another Squanchy podcast. That we did today for you guys. Make sure to check us out on Twitter. I'm at Ricky Widmer. He is at War Machine 9085. See, I got it. And Most Valuable Podcast is at Most Valuable Pod. Also, if you like the podcast, make sure to check out our Patreon page, patreon.com/Most Valuable Podcast. It's just another way to support us rather than hitting, or more so than hitting the subscribe and the like button. I want to thank you guys for watching and listening one more time, and as always, have a good day, everybody.
I don't know about this, Rick.
Just do it, Morty.
Thank you for watching Most Valuable Podcast video. If you want to watch more of them, just watch them right here, and thank you for watching.